What's going on, guys? Seth, Chevy, and Chris here for Tasty Loot Gaming, doing a tasty bit on the Monster Hunter World Beta. Now, hopefully you guys had a chance to play this. It just happened last weekend, up until recently. I think it went till about Monday, Tuesday.
I don't remember when it ended.
I believe it's 12th. That's when it ended.
It ended at some point. Hopefully you had a chance to play that. Now, before we get into talking about that, I'm just explaining. When you watch Friday's episode, you're going to hear me say we're going to be talking about Monster Hunter. That was supposed to happen, but because Josh had time restrictions, had to leave, we kind of just skipped over it. Towards the end of that video, you're going to see Chevy remind me that we're supposed to talk about that. I'm going to go, fuck, and then we're here. So you're getting an episode fully dedicated to us talking about the beta and earlier than Friday's show. So it's win-win. So we played the Monster Hunter World beta, which was awesome to finally get our hands on it because, as you guys know on the channel, as we know, we've been covering this shit for fucking ever. So to finally do it, what's your general impression? How are you coming out of it?
Just general impression.
Yeah. Feeling good about it?
No, it was good. I wanted to keep playing it, but you had kind of brought up, and I agree with the sentiment. You're not progressing towards anything, so it's kind of hard to. It actually would have been really easy to keep playing, but I want to play the game when it comes out. Is kind of the mentality as well. So it was cool to be able to see how it feels, though. I was curious about the transition from handheld to a controller. How combat would feel, and everything about it, at least that I tried, worked at least how I thought it would, or if not even better. So
that was the great thing about this, jumping into it, because we've all played it, quite a bit throughout the generations and the consoles it's been on before. I mean, we played it originally on PS2 all the way up until now. You've played it a shitload on handhelds. And so it was kind of nice because even as the dude who kind of skipped the last Monster Hunter game that happened, what was the Generations? Yeah, I skipped that one. But not a big fucking detriment to myself. But like, just jumping into this, I knew exactly what to do again. Like, it just came naturally. I mean, this is Monster Hunter. It's exactly what I wanted. It's fucking Monster Hunter on PS4, and it plays so much better, so much smoother. Everything's streamlined. My takeaway, early impression, or just saying whatever, it's awesome. It's literally what I wanted. I wanted to kind of discuss too, because we've been hyping it, where you're kind of landing. Is it over? Are you hyped? Is it more hyped for you now? Less hyped? I'm actually coming out of it more excited than I was before I played it.
I agree with that.
It was better than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Specifically because we've been watching it for a long time, and we've just been going, it's Monster Hunter, it looks better. They got all these new features, but playing it, having like experiencing the fidelity of it, and just feeling how like smooth and easy it is to play now, but it's still the same experience. It's still Monster Hunter, exactly what you want from it, but now it just plays better, feels better. All the weapons, I feel like all the weapons are good. They always have been good, but like one of the things I've always been held up on is on handheld, certain weapons felt kind of clunky, and we'll talk about weapons in a sec, but like now they all just feel viable to me. Every single one of them. I love every single one of them, especially the ranged weapons. I think this game did a lot for range for me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Chris, what was your takeaway?
It felt more like a demo than a beta. It felt very solid and smooth, and the transitions that we're used to of like loading screens were non-existent, like they said they wouldn't be, and I didn't even realize I was transitioning through different segments of the map. Yeah. It was hard for me to keep track of where I was map-wise, section-wise, because before I'm just like, okay, now I'm loading to Zone 2, this is Zone 4. But it felt so natural and so easy to play. And yet, at the same time, it didn't feel quite like an old Monster Hunter. It feels kind of fresh and new because of the changes to the gameplay mechanics. It's just everything I wanted.
Yeah. There's so many small little things that the overall experience is still Monster Hunter. It feels like Monster Hunter, which is the biggest thing I was worried about, is if it would change anything of like how the game feels. But they did so many little things that like you said, the whole experience almost feels new. It doesn't feel like the next iteration of the Monster Hunters we've been playing on handheld forever and ever, with new features. It feels like an actual like sequel, like the new generation of what Monster Hunter's gonna be like now.
Yeah.
Just traversing terrain just by running at it and like climbing up stuff quickly, and just like the fidelity of having 2 analogs and being able to just chase after the dinosaur and still be taking shots at it while running, stuff like that. The mobility of a lot of the weapons, like the bug glaive, being able to jump in the air and then double jump. It's just the whole time I wasn't even thinking about like, and this is one of the reasons, like I said, I had to stop playing it, because I have a problem with a lot of betas. If I enjoy them, I keep playing them. And I play them a shitload, and the game comes out, and I feel like I've played it quite a bit already, and it kind of like doesn't kill it for me, but it kind of dampens the experience for me. This, I played it enough to go, I fucking love this. I'm ready. I'm ready for the game. I'm gonna stop playing the beta. Just to kind of, when the game comes out, I'm gonna start fresh. It's gonna feel awesome already, and then I'll start progressing. But yeah, I have a tendency to burn myself out on betas. I felt like I was making a point there, but I fucking just got lost in
trailed off
about because I started thinking about Rainbow Six Siege. That's exactly what happened in that game. What do you guys think about the graphics?
They were astonishing. I mean, the loading screen alone, the main menu screen, looked like a real image. Like, I couldn't tell if it was, the background was just a photograph that they enhanced, or if it was really like, I assume it's all real computer graphics, still CGI. But like the way the monsters move and the way they get battle damage and the way the characters move is just so fluid.
That's something that was really cool to see is the damage over time with the monsters, specifically when we're fighting like the Rathalos. Its wings like started like deteriorating. All the games have always been like good about like, you're like, oh, now there's a hole here and a hole here, but like I felt like we're actually kind of degrading the monster throughout the fight. I felt like it feels more visceral and more like you're actually in this long battle to try and defeat this thing. People are flying around, riding the fucking thing, like getting thrown off cliffs. It loses us. We're fucking running forward, looking for it again and shit. And it's not just like, okay, is it in zone 4? No. Zone 5? No. Like, I'm like up on Ewok fucking pathways, like looking down fucking, cliffs and shit. And I see it flying through narrow caverns. I'm like, oh, it's fucking flying up towards 11 and shit. So, the graphical difference.
The depth of field you can have now, of view. Oh my gosh, it's just, you can see everything if you have the right angle.
Yeah, and the destructibility is cool too, because like we were talking about this before shooting, but like there was a segment that in our stream we did like a 3-hour, 4-hour stream. You can watch it on the channel if you want to see us play it. There was a part where one of the monsters we were attacking like ran into a tree or something, and the tree started falling over, and somebody said something about it, but when the tree hit, it got like tangled in and stuff. And that's just something that I don't feel like was as I don't even know if that happened in the handheld games or not, stuff like that. But it was just a really cool moment.
You could have the monsters destroy the environment, but they never really reacted to it. Like they would just like plow things over.
Just like that video you were showing us, where was that you riding it?
Yeah, I had jumped on it and climbed onto its head, and it decided to make an effort to get rid of me from, essentially stabbing it in the eye over and over again. So it found a rock formation and slammed its head into it, which not only broke that off, it made me go flying. And I have no idea, what button I pushed, but I ended up throwing my grappling hook back at it and getting right back onto its back. It's just a really cool little sequence that happened. So and then with the palicos as well. I don't know if you were riding at that time or what, but just kind of getting it close to the palicos, and all of a sudden they just all come out of fucking whatever holes they were hiding in, and just tie it down, and then just like, okay, go ahead, beat the crap out of it. We got it. So
they're all just like working hard, and then as soon as it gets loose, they're all just like look around. They're like, okay, fuck this, and they leave.
I'm
like, thanks for the help, as they dig themselves in the ground. But yeah, stuff like that, like obviously goes with the graphics, but like the processing power can allow for cool shit like that to happen, which is really neat.
There was like the Monoblos and Diablos back in the day. They were like one of the few monsters that had like weird terrain interactions, because they would charge at you with their horn, and their horns would get stuck in walls, and eventually they would snap off. But that's the only one I can think of that really had like real hard interactions with terrain.
Yeah.
And even then, it was just basic, unstuck.
I don't think we saw the Diablos when we played the beta.
It's usually a desert monster.
Yeah, he was in the desert zone.
Yeah.
In that beta. We just never went looking for him.
Yeah.
It's cool too to see monsters from prior games rendered now, like in more detail. They also seem bigger now that the screen's not this big, so they can actually like show the scale of it.
That Rathalos is huge.
Rathalos is huge. Was Barroth? That thing. Like I remember fighting him on the handheld and 3DS and fucking. You know, he's like this little like T-Rex guy rolling in the mud and shit, and I'm over there like hitting him in the thigh, and this like he's like fucking big. I'm like, woo, and he's just charging.
I would say when I was on the side of his head, I'm literally like he's a cliff face. I'm like,
yeah,
you.
So yeah, I also think the graphics are really good looking. I did run into one thing though. The only thing I can really complain about visually that I saw when I was playing by myself. Is there's a flock of like 5 birds that just were like flying at me and then just went through the hill and just went like just kept flying. I was like, but that's not anything to even knock it for. I was just hopefully they for their own sake get rid of that so people aren't like what the fuck, you know, not as fair as me. I was like, ooh, they gotta fix that. That's it though, you know. As long as, like, you know, the major monsters aren't just running through a wall and disappearing and be like, ooh, that's broken. We need to fucking fix that.
Working as intended. That's how it's supposed to be.
You're happy with the graphics?
Oh, yeah. No, it looks great. You know, to use the Rathalos fight as an example, I was playing, I can't remember the actual name, but it's the Lance and Shield. And,
The Lance.
Yeah. And I was sitting there just blocking, and the Rathalos, you know, was charging at me. I was like, oh, that's big. And you just see claws like an eagle coming at you pretty much. Bounced off my shield. I turned around just in time and he's just like, blah, fireball immediately. I was like, hit another. I was like, holy crap, that was terrifying.
I remember when you guys were chasing after the Rathalos and I finally got up there essentially where the dam's at. And I came over the hill and out in the distance I see it in the air just like swinging, but I didn't get a sense of scale because I couldn't see you guys. Just over the hill I saw it freaking out. And then I shot one thing at it. It looked at me and just did that fucking Liu Kang bicycle kick. Just, and like as it got big, it just got bigger. I'm like, oh fuck! And it fucking just knocks me down the hill. I get up and I have like this much health. I'm like, okay, this thing's tough. Like I gotta think about this. Because prior to that, everything we fought wasn't like that.
Right.
So. Apparently, also, did you guys see? I forgot what it's called, but there was a monster that some people were running into, but it was rare.
And probably was.
Did you guys hear about that?
It was probably Diablos, because that was the one we didn't.
Or was it the?
It's like 3 people on Reddit that ran into it.
It might be
no
the flagship monster.
No, it was kind of weird looking. I think it was like it looked like a 4-legged thing. I don't the 4-legged. They're all 4-legged pretty much, but I don't know. It was weird. I forgot like a puke, something like that.
I'll look it up
Isn't
real
it
quick.
the chameleon thing?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, people were
Okay.
running into that, but it was rare.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because originally one person ran into it on Twitter. They posted a picture of it, and then on Reddit, I think yesterday, somebody's like, apparently someone else found it.
Those things are a pain in the butt to fight when you're supposed to be fighting them.
Yeah.
Because they're just completely invisible until you walk into them.
Maybe that's why people are running into it because they don't know that
It's there.
Yeah. It'd be kind of neat. So speaking of lance weapons, blah blah blah. What was your guys' general experience with weapons? This game actually has an area where you can test out weapons, which I really appreciated before we even played together. I went in there and tried out every weapon set, which was awesome because before you had to pick your weapon set and then go out on a mission, come back and switch it out, and it makes that whole trying things out a longer process. And this, I was just switching, and I was like, wow, I actually like this a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, what was your guys' general impressions with that? And what was your favorite weapons that you used? I already know yours. I got to experience it firsthand.
My general impression with the weapons were, out of the ones I used in practical combat, not in the training zone, I liked everything I used minus the, is it greatsword? Because I used the long sword.
Really slow one.
Yeah.
I hated that one too.
And I didn't think it was bad. It's just not my play style. Like, by the time I was swinging, the monster was moving.
It's a lot about timing.
Yeah, so I was just like, this isn't for me. And I just didn't have fun with it. The lance and shield is also kind kind of tricky because it's another slow setup. But I think for certain fights, I'd have a lot of fun with that setup because I actually did like it. You feel pretty invincible, like I said, the Rathalos came right at me, kicked me, turned around, shot a fireball at me, and I took like almost no damage.
There's a mode you can do where you enter a counter stance. So like you put the shield in front of you and you hold your lance behind you, so that when you take a hit,
I've done the counter.
But there's a second stance in that as well, and you press another button combination, and your shield starts glowing white, and your stamina just drains automatically. You take no damage from attacks.
Okay. Yeah, the one I did was the counterattack where I threw the shield out or whatever, and it looked like the polearm was charging, and as soon as I get hit, I was like, bam, and it did a chunk of damage. So
yeah,
it's a really cool sword and board style. I also did try the normal sword and board, and that's really like jack of all trades. Like you don't know what to use that because you kind of get a feel for everything.
Yeah, as soon as I grabbed it, I was like, okay, this is kind of like that. I don't know what the fuck I need to pick. I'm just gonna use this.
The block works, the attacks work. It's not too slow. It's not too fast. I mean, it's kind of like just like the perfect beginner setup, I think.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about how they did the bug glaive?
I think it's huge improvement personally.
It's definitely not as, I wouldn't say intimidating, but as confusing as it was before.
Definitely.
It's a lot easier to get the grasp of what you need to do and how to interact with it. Because before I was just like, this is really complicated for a single weapon. I'm not even going to bother with it.
Yeah, I was really excited for the bug glaive when it came out, and then I used it, and I was like, it's okay. And then this, I'm like, okay, this works. Like that's all I needed. It's like just be like this, idea that works, and it does. It feels different, but like I was saying already, I think all the weapons just feel better in general now. So, but yeah. What was your favorite weapon, though? You said...
in the beta?
Yes.
I mean, I'm partial to the longsword, obviously, even though I didn't get a chance to try the cool jump up. And
it's fun.
I didn't get a chance to do that. Because it was their first round, playing, I just kind of ran in and it was doing what I was used to doing, which is, just a really basic, endless combo where it's just, swing, stab, swing, swing, stab, swing, swing, and just do that over and over again until your bar fills, and then unleash your fucking shoulder button combo.
Yep.
So I like that a lot, but that's just more of it's aesthetically pleasing for me. As far as fun, I really had a blast with the bug glaive. Just being
using it a lot more than I thought you would.
You could spend so much time in the air. I was doing just to fuck around with it. I was trying to stay in the air as much as possible just to see how capable you are, and you're almost never getting hit, and you're doing these little drive-by whack.
Pretty much. With your fucking canoe paddles.
Boom. Yeah, I mean it's cool, and I like that a lot. The other one I was pleasantly surprised with, and I had already kind of brought it up, was the spear. I wasn't expecting not spear, lance. I wasn't expecting to like that as much as I did because I don't usually like playing tanky stuff. So
yeah, already kind of said my piece on all the weapons. I think they're all streamlined, feel better.
I also like the one Chris likes.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I was actually really surprised because as we've been watching these videos, I've been saying that the ranged weapons look cool, they actually look viable, and I'm happy to say they absolutely are. In fact, my favorite weapon in the whole beta was the fucking...
heavy bowgun?
Yeah. That thing's awesome. That thing's fucking awesome. I love just shooting mortars, and then when you get your special, all the bullets up. I fucking forgot all the terminology. You're just fucking just unloading. I love that feeling.
Dude, how terrifying it was when you were just unloading into the monster. I'm coming from the other end, and just bullets are like fucking war movie, just tracing all around. I'm like, holy shit.
That's how I felt with the Rathalos. It's just in the air flying. I'm just just fucking anti-air. It's just flying around shooting its wings. Or we were fighting, what's the first mission? The first hunt.
The iguana monster?
No. Yeah. I think it was the bear that we were fighting then, because it was something bigger. And yeah, you guys were already fighting it. I was trying to catch up, and as soon as I got up there, I had my special ready, and you guys were over there fighting in the trees, and I started fucking just unloading from a distance, and I think one of you had said something because the bullets were flying everywhere, and then just turned at me and started fucking coming at me. I'm like, oh shit. Like as soon as you start unloading on them, they get pissed, which I mean for good reason. Yep. You're just unloading. But yeah, I loved that weapon. I'm definitely gonna be using that. That was kind of my go-to. Like if we did like okay on a hunt, and we're gonna do it again, I'd go back and grab that one. Another one that was a really big surprise for me because I didn't really like it in the handhelds at all was the Charge Blade. That thing's fucking awesome.
The shield to switch axe?
Oh yeah. I did not like that in the handhelds at all because I thought it was super clunky feeling. But in this, it's so cool and it just kind of clicked and made sense.
There's a rhythm to it.
Oh yeah, and I got it down like instantly for some reason. On handheld, I was like, ugh.
It's very cumbersome with the button combinations in handheld.
Yeah, exactly. But on this, I was like, this makes sense. This is awesome. Like you just fucking boom, 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 boom.
If you keep going with it, eventually what you do is called perfect guards. And so like you'll notice there's animations where your shield is in front of you as you're swinging. If you have that shield in front of you when a monster is hitting and your swing goes through and you block the damage they do. All in one motion.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I just like the whole. It has an interesting system because you're building up energy.
The files.
Yeah, and to do damage, but you get to a point where if the energy's built up too much, you can't fight.
It's overcharged.
Really.
Yeah.
So you have to like load it in, and you load up enough that you can almost do it multiple times. And then the electricity charge is really neat because on that final hit, you get these 2 electricity bursts. Yeah, it hits and goes, and it's a really gratifying feeling because that last strike takes a second. You're just like. And like the monster moving around or whatever. So when you just nail it in the head with that hit, and then it goes like and knocks it on its ass, it feels awesome.
You can charge the files into the blade, or you can charge the files into the shield, and it makes the block stronger. You recharge the up again, and you charge it into the blade, and it makes your axe overall do more damage.
Yeah, I was doing it so the axe was doing the electricity damage. Or whatever.
It does that. That's innate.
Okay.
So if you charge the shield, it's sword and shield mode, your shield will block stronger and your sword will hit for a little more. And then if you have them both charged and you switch to the axe mode, it overall does way more damage. And your charges do more damage as you expel them. You get a much bigger hit with it.
Yeah, the way I was doing is I had the sword and shield. I'd be hitting, it'd be growing, and then I'd fucking lock it in. And then as soon as you do that, if you get the exact same button that you hit to load the vials or files, once you hit that, it automatically turns into the axe and does the heavy attacks.
Yep.
And I was doing that, and I really liked it.
It's so much fun.
But those 2 weapons were my absolute favorites. Absolutely. I thought I tried the daggers. I was done. I liked using the daggers on handheld because they were like the best flowing weapon on the handhelds. But in this, I was like, it's just boring. It's just boring. And then Bugglaive was really cool. Really enjoyed that. The only reason I didn't stick with it is because I wasn't getting the amount of damage output I wanted, but I love the mobility. I love mobility in most games. I like agility and mobility and being able to move quickly. So it's got a lot of cool what's the word I'm looking for? Utility purposes, utility use to it, which is really cool. Other than that, all the weapons, all the range weapons I like. I think the sniper one's pretty neat. The bow I kind of like, kind of don't. The normal one. And Lance I wasn't a big fan of. I don't like the ones where you move slowly. I get the point of them, whatever. It's not for me, not my play style. And then the one you said you didn't like, I also didn't like that one just because obviously hit slow, hit with a lot of damage. I get that, but not my play style. I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, when they're knocked over and you get that charge attack, that's awesome. But just
all about timing with that one, and not getting too greedy with your attacks. That's a big thing about it. Because your attacks do so much damage, you want to connect them, but like a lot of times you get really you get real greedy. You're just like charge, just come on, hold still. You're just like full charge and it's just like gone. You're like, damn it.
Yeah, that's why I like the charge blade so much though, just because you get a great mix of when you have the sword and shield, you're hitting quickly, and then when you switch over to the axe, you're hitting slow and powerful. So like it literally covers both areas, and then there's enough nuance to how to use the weapon that I'm not just mindlessly hitting buttons.
Yeah.
So it had a perfect balance to it, and I loved the weapons across the board though. I mean, I just had a blast playing. I had a fucking blast playing this game, man. Yeah. Like it was fucking fun. I wasn't thinking about the channel. I wasn't thinking about playing this to talk about it. Like I know it sounds weird, but sometimes I'm playing games that we're supposed to be playing, and I'm like, I just gotta get through this. I was playing, I'm like, this game's fucking dope. When's it coming out? Like I wasn't thinking about anything other than I just like playing this shit. This is awesome.
Yep.
Weapons. What's your favorite weapon? Hit Seth with
the hunting horn.
It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun to
I
watch.
love that. I'm just sitting there swinging this big ass bone flute thing at the monster, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, I gotta play this song. This note, let me get it down. I'm just jamming out while this big ass monster just like, fuck you, God.
It's ridiculous that everybody's just like Lord of the Rings fighting a cave troll shit, and you're just like,
just
what you did you do, yeah. And then that one time that I keep talking about, fucking, we were up fighting the Rathalos, the dam broke, and you're like, the dam broke, come over here. And I'm like, okay. And all I see is water. I turn around and go to run at you, and I just go, whap, and fucking just like, and fucking hit me in the head. The nice, clean, metallic fucking tink fucking sound. And then you're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was like, okay. And you're like, I'm buffing you guys. I'm like, yeah, you sure as fuck are. Buffing my helmet.
Yeah, I do like the raw damage of it is high. It's just like the hammer, but it's got the utility because you're playing, you know, all the music. And the changes they made to it where you have the cheat sheet of all the music you can play right there on the screen for you, and it tells you what buttons play what note, like what button combos play what notes. So it's so easy now to figure out what songs you need to play and how to play them and how to chain them together. It's so fine-tuned now. It's so much fun. I had such a blast with it. But I played a bit with Frank, my brother, and most of that play session I actually played with the bow because it's still my favorite weapon. And playing it on console makes it even more so. I can run away from a monster while charging my bow, 180, let go, and just keep going like flawlessly. There's also a new mechanic they added to it so that if you're charging the bow, you fire one off and the monster's rushing at you or attacking you. If you hit the dodge button at the right time, you get an immediate full charge of your bow. You can just fire again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I chained it like 2 or 3 times in a row. I was like, no, fuck you, get the fuck away.
Nice. There's one thing I like. I like the ranged weapons in the game too, and they've always had this obviously, but like the different ammo types kind of like give you a lot of versatility with the ranged weapons too. I know like when I was using, I think I was using the bow actually one of the times we played, and I just switched over to paralysis ammo, and I was just like, please work, please work, please work, and also I was like, yes.
No, that's the thing that's great about the Monster Hunter games is like when something works during like a hunt or river, you're just like, yes, like the paralysis thing. You guys are all fighting, and I was doing the same thing. I was using the fucking, anti-air gun, but fuck, I'm just like shooting that shit, and I'm like, come on, motherfucker, and then it goes. I'm like, there it goes.
Yeah, and then in the handheld versions, I didn't really use. I'm sorry, you're still talking about weapons.
No.
But I was gonna say traps. Anytime we played together, I don't want to mess with it because like controller's not very optimal, right?
You got liberal with that shit on PS4.
Well, because I was like, I didn't get to play with these before, so I was testing them all out because I knew we had limited time to play. So while we were fighting the Rathalos, I was just like, little barrel, boom. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Big barrel, boom. Rathalos fell over. I was like, that works.
There's a bigger version.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, and then I even I put down the paralysis trap or lightning trap or whatever. And then I don't know what happened, but he happened to look my way. I was like, yes, come this way.
Hey. And
then he comes running over and just was stuck. I was like, that's awesome.
Speaking of traps, I like the way they have the classic item select going left and right, but you can also hold the button and get the wheel.
The wheel threw me off.
Yeah, it's weird at first, but once you get... Oh, really? Yeah, you can do it like you used to, but you can also... I think it's L1 or something like that, and it pulls up a wheel, and then with the right analog, you can hold up and let go, and you'll select it.
So like a lot of
It's like
games
Warframe.
Like that,
Yeah, like most games on a console.
Yeah.
But I'm because at first they showed that off. I remember seeing that in the videos we watched, and I was like, oh, it's cool. But I'm glad they also kept the original way too, because
That's what I'm used to.
Like, I actually use that more. But every once in a while, there'd be a specific thing I wanted quickly, and I'd be like, okay, there it is, and I use the wheel. But then for most part, like, when I was doing, like, rations and, like, whetstone, stuff like that, I was just using the D-pad real quick. Yeah, so it's kind of neat that they kept both, and I found myself using both, which I don't know why, but I did. So
if it works.
Yeah. But yeah, you liked the weapons. You liked
I liked all the weapons.
Bow.
Pretty much all around. I always play. I generally always play with a new weapon every Monster Hunter, so I'm pretty versed in a great deal of them. But yeah, the only ones I didn't like in this one were like you, the dual daggers. Like they weren't as smooth as they were before. I didn't care for them as much.
Yeah, I just felt like you're just like doing that and walking forward. I was like, eh.
The only time they feel good is when you're
in demon mode.
Yeah.
Demon mode. Yeah, they were fun, but they were probably the least exciting. Minus, obviously the ones I just didn't like. So,
what do you guys think about being able to look up and what are those things called? You can grab them and swing on them though.
Grapple with the beetles.
The beetles, yeah.
I didn't mess with them.
You didn't at all.
I like them.
It's neat being able to like run and see one and just kind of swing across like a.
You know what's fucking terrifying? I was playing a solo mission because I played all of them solo. And I noticed that, and so I was sitting there grappling, like trying to get away from the monster. It didn't give a shit. It turned around, ran, and jumped and tried to bite my ass off the grapple hook.
Really?
Fucking terrifying.
It seems like they went to great length to make sure that the monsters are capable of doing whatever they need to in the terrain.
Yeah.
So, which I think is smart.
Well, yeah, and I mean, just to bring it back up real quick, when I was on the thing's head, and it was like, I have to get this off me. There's a rock right there.
Well, there's a rock to its right, too. It almost looked like it was trying to jump over there, but you weren't in that position.
I wasn't on that side of its
So then
head.
it ran across to another one that was right ahead of it, and it's like, boom, and knocked you off. So, like, it's cool. It's like trying to problem solve the situation. So
Scary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. I think it was the turkey Rex vulture thing.
That's the fucking thing that I was earlier trying to remember what we were fighting. It was definitely that thing, yeah.
The vulture Rex.
Turkey raptor?
Yeah, chicken puppy. It was fucking scary.
That thing with the dorsal fins that pop out of nowhere.
When it enrages.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys if there's anything about the game that you don't like or anything you think can be improved on. And I have a feeling you guys are not going to have much to say on that. So one thing that I found really interesting, I went on Reddit, asked people on there what was some stuff that they, what was some feedback. They liked it, of course, but was there anything they would want to change? And the biggest thing I found from people talking to me or just going around and seeing what people were saying is people don't like, quite a bit of people don't like when a monster shows up, your camera instantly looks at it. And I didn't think about that until they start talking about it. I was like, you know what, that was kind of annoying. Not necessarily too bad because at the first time it happens, I like it. But when you're in the middle of a fight, I noticed another like monster will show up, and you're in the middle of a fight, and all of a sudden goes woo, and just looks over at the thing. Now, was kind of annoying. So I'm wondering, I want them to keep that system because I really like it. I like the idea of like if your team fucking runs into the thing, it kind of draws your attention to it. But there's got to be a way to like limit that to a point where it's like it's not happening mid-fight. Hopefully they can find a way after the beta, if enough people say anything about it, to kind of get that less distracting. Did you guys feel the same? Did you not care?
There was a couple moments where I was like I don't give a shit. Stop turning the camera that way.
Yeah, it happened like twice. I was like,
yeah, I would say it's a minor annoyance.
Yeah,
it's completely minor, but it's like the only thing I can think of.
Oh yeah, I get that. I appreciate aspects of it. Like there was one time where I think Chris found the monster, and I wasn't even close to it, but my camera kind of like pivoted this way, and my fireflies just went, and I was like, okay, cool. Like it's literally like, hey, my buddy's over there. Found a bot, a bigger monster. So
I do like that the fireflies instantly, like at first it's like hints because you're tracking, which I like.
Yeah.
But once somebody finds it just kind of tells you where the hell to go.
Them just go.
Yeah, it kind of rewards the team for finding it. It's like, okay, everybody go there.
Well, I also really like when you're doing the scouting part, it counts for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's really nice too. As far as any gripes go, I'm not good with directions in games anyways. No, and when the Rathalos ran off that one time, and Chris was up there by himself for a great deal of time, and I was literally like running around in a circle. I'm like, they're above me.
That happened to me all the time too. Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do I get up there? So
it's kind of a weird thing to compare it to, but like in like FPSs, like Call of Duty or any other ones that are competitive, as I play the game more and learn the maps, I get better because I know the maps and all that shit. So I feel like it's the same thing. Once you like have played that map enough times that you know this route will always go that way and it goes and branches these ways, you'll learn it.
I just wish the Fireflies would have been a little more intuitive at that point.
I agree because I ran into a couple points where you and Chris would be fucking somewhere and I'm like running around. I'm like, okay, I've been here already, and I like run this way. I'm like, and I'm like looking for things to climb and shit. The one time you're talking about with him, he was up there, you jumped off or died, and you were like down somewhere. I'm running up this like waterway, and I see Josh running down it, and we just kind of go and pass each other. I take a left, I come up this thing, and I see Chris fucking fighting the thing, so I start helping him. That was around the time it flew down into the canyon. But like, I was telling Josh, I'm like, Josh, you passed me. Literally, just take that corner that you ran past, and he just never came back. I'm like, fuck, apparently he found something real good, because he was probably found some small animals to kick or something. Just take his rage out, like, fuck, you're fun shit.
But yeah, I mean, once again though, I mean, it's a minor gripe. The monsters are really good about, moving anyways, and then after a while of you guys fighting up there or whatever, by the time I was like figuring it out, he decided to go somewhere else, and I was like, okay, well, I know how to get there, so.
Well, I kind of like that too, because it actually was forcing us to communicate, not even in like an effort like, okay guys, we're gonna work together, we're gonna get this done. Like, I was just like getting frustrated. I was like, it's literally going down that fucking way, it's heading towards 11, like, because I'm sick of chasing this thing, and then everybody's fucking
just dealing back and forth, up and down.
Yeah,
no, it's so much fun just chasing shit. And like most games I chase things, I'm like, oh come on, but this I'm just like, come here, motherfuckers. As they get there, I was like,
it's time to get your beatings.
Plural. You're getting 4 beatings right now.
I did have a gripe with the Firefly system. I had trouble sometimes knowing exactly where the fuck they were. Like, they would just all of a sudden like careen off, and I would turn to look, and they were gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, where the fuck are they?
I ran into that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that whole system needs to be just fine-tuned a little, because getting lost, for example, and then losing them would happen sometimes as well. So
I think
that happened to me where I had no fireflies, and I was just like, I'm just like running, like just listening.
I think the color of them needs to be changed too, because they tend to kind of blend in with the environment, and I only bring this up because there's a lot of gamers I watch that are colorblind, and that is not a color they can see.
I would.
Well, the
whenever
people
you
have
check if there'd be a colorblind
red. There could be,
because a lot of games offer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, League of Legends didn't have one for a long time. Even when they were playing professional leagues, there's a lot of pro League of Legends gamers who were playing without a colorblind mode, and they just had to kind of shimmy their way through it.
Well, you're gonna eventually kind of get used to the different shades of gray and understanding that shade of gray is what people are saying is green.
Right.
It just sucks. One major gripe I'm going to throw out there, not for any of us, because we're all men of the modern age, and we're all of 2017, moving into 2018. We're ready for it. We're ready for all things new. But Josh is one of the people who are left behind with the N64 days of inversion. There's still some people out there who play inverted, and I feel bad for Josh because I give him shit. I'm joking, blah blah blah, but that's how he plays. And every game offers inverted controls. This game, at least in the beta, did not have inverted controls at all. Right. So Josh, we're joking, tell him like maybe it's time to start learning how to play normal standard
people,
mode. Yeah. And he gave it the good college try. He was playing for hours with us.
He did good. He did real good.
He was doing fine. And at least it's like, not a shooter really. So like you just kind of gotta more
get
so
your
look
camera
left and right.
set and go back to playing.
Yeah. Because I feel like I could have played that game inverted if I had to, but I never would do that. But yeah, I was blown away because I think I've only heard of one other game ever not having inverted at all. They just didn't put it in. I'm like, fuck, that's a straight up just fuck you.
It doesn't even seem like it's a big thing to add either, because literally just like, hey, these are doing the opposite things. Yeah.
I mean, there's still some games that are like, look up and down. You look up and down. It's like, do you like that or should we invert? I'm like, fuck no, let's go.
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I bet it was just a beta thing because I can't recall a Monster Hunter that didn't have the option to control or change the schematics of the controls somewhat.
Yeah. In the handheld ones, though, I don't think you have to worry about the inversion too much, considering a lot of them.
There's no camera stick.
Right.
So.
But so maybe they still have experience. Like, what is a second analog? Or we're trying, man. What is new to us? But yeah, that didn't affect any of us, but it did affect Josh. So I figure I would mention that because I mean there are probably people, all 6 of you that play inverted, and you guys deserve to be able to play too. So
No, for sure.
yeah.
Anytime they add stuff like that, though, colorblind modes, inverted controls or whatever. I can't think of any other examples on the top of my head right now, but just it just shows that they want as many people as possible to enjoy the experience. So
Definitely. Well, I mean, at its core, it's a game that they want to sell to people.
yeah.
Right.
You got to make it accessible to everybody in some way. So
Also, side note, I told you already. I don't know if you knew, but when that beta was going, top game on Twitch.
I'm not surprised. I did check out Twitch before we started streaming. I was like, that's a lot of fucking people. No one's going to see my stream. I don't care.
yeah, I literally streamed on YouTube for the channel. I had no hopes of random people, but like so far that when I stopped the stream, I had about 70 views. So that was I'm pretty happy with that. And then right now it's like at 100 something. So people are still watching it,
Nice.
which is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. The other stream we did of Warframe, I think it's at like 20 views. So obviously
You
people
missed that train.
Yeah, we got to that a little late, but you should still watch that Plains of Eidolon one because it's fucking funny. We were on our shit with the humor in that one. That was a fun one. Also Plains of Eidolon was fun too, but we're not talking about Plains of Eidolon. Yeah, so let's wrap this up because we've already gone like 2 times the length that I was like, let's keep it short. I always say that. We can all talk quite a bit. Yeah, so takeaways. Obviously, we're all picking it up. Mm-hmm. Definitely, 100%. I can't wait to get it.
To get out of my way to pick it up.
You're gonna be.
I'm just gonna bring my hunting horn and just.
You're gonna be in line, just like just stabbing people. And then you're gonna be paying, and, and then you're gonna be walking back through the line you came through, going, slowing them down.
Mm-hmm. That's not fitting. I like the other one where he's just bludgeoning them there. Occasionally he's got to stop.
It's also fitting for Josh because there's one time where we were chasing after the Bareth and like we're all going after, we're all hitting it and shit, and then it runs away and I turn around because I'm about to chase it because it's going another direction. And as I turn around, Josh is just looking at me with the fucking just malice in his eyes. He comes running with the sword, and I'm like, it's going that way. And he fucking swings and he hits me. And he's like, boom, boom, just beating me. I'm like, Josh, I know you want to just hit shit, but fucking that thing's plenty ready to be fucking hit. Much more beneficial than hitting me. Nothing's gonna happen from it except for both of us are gonna be busy while the other 2 fucking get knocked into rocks.
I do have one other thing I wanted to bring up. The cloaks.
Oh, yes.
You guys get a chance to play with any of those?
I did.
Yeah, I used the gliding one. That one was neat. Pretty much, as soon as you walk off of anything, you get some extra time to be in the air.
It also lets you mount monsters easier.
Yeah, which is cool. Use the stealth one, which it works. Mm-hmm. Specifically with guns, it was kind of nice because I just lay into them, then I put it on and fucking creep off. I equipped the fucking big metal one for defense, but I never used it.
Mm-hmm.
I used the gliding one and the defense one, and I did get to use the defense one because that's when I was the lancer fighting the fucking Rathalos. So I literally was just like chained up. I'm like, okay,
I love the idea that your dude is a dude in armor, and then he brings a cloak with him with metal plating on it, like a metal blanket to put on his armor.
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Extra. Just fucking throw it on. Throw the tarp on. Just take the
just
fucking extra
sitting there
hits.
like, all right, I'm ready to get hit.
I'm a fucking tank now.
I used the stealth one, which worked really well in single player mode. I used it, and then the girl was like, "Hey, the monster's lost sight of you. Now's your chance to like either sneak away and heal up, or set a trap and attack it for the surprise." I used the glidey one when I used the bug glaive just to try to get more mounts in. I used the angry coat. That's what I call it. The look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me. That one has a really long cooldown on it, so I didn't get to use it as often as I wanted to. And I used the water resist one actually when we fought the big water mud snake thing. And
where the fuck it was.
the thing.
Oh yeah,
we don't do names here.
The relicanth. That's what it was. It was a relicanth.
Yeah.
And I noticed that while I'm wearing it, I can just move through the water and mud freely, like as if I was on normal terrain.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
yeah.
I never did that.
It was really nice.
I was just for like water damage or something, but that's cool. Like
it does do water damage resistance,
and that makes sense. But like being able to move freely through water, I mean, if you're in an area that you're gonna be hunting something in water, that would make sense to equip that. So that's pretty cool. That fight was interesting too because it does this like fucking death roll thing. You literally called it that, and fucking it was just doing this. And the second and third time I attempted to hit it when I was doing that, it would actually knock me back. But the first time I was in such a like I don't know if it was like moving in a figure eight shape.
Were you inside of it?
Yeah.
That's
and I was standing there and I was like, what is this move for? As I'm hitting it, I'm just like.
As for the rest of us are just standing outside waiting for it to stop.
I was like, okay, as long as I'm not crazy, because I was like just in there and I'm hitting it and I'm just like looking, I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
In fact, that video clip I took, it shows that I'm like staring at it doing the roll. I'm like, what the hell is it doing? And I see your name. I'm like, I thought it was just like squeezing you or beating the shit out of you.
No, I was just hitting.
And like. Me, Chris, and Josh are literally just standing next to each other, like waiting.
Yeah, because I was just alone, and I was like, "Is this supposed to do damage?" I was like, "Am I not hitting? Is this like an evade?" And I was like, "No, there's damage."
You just were in the sweet spot, apparently.
Yeah, because the second time I went to do it, I'm like, "Oh fuck, this move doesn't do shit." And I just ran up, and started swinging. It's like, it just knocked me back. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "When did you become unfriendly?" Shove me back, bitch. Last time we're cuddling and shit. How's that spoon?
That one's also really weird when you're, because that's when I was using the bug glaive, mounting on that thing, especially when it starts flopping around. I'm just like, how am I on there still? The only time you fall off is when you do the knockover thing. It'll just land on its back and you pop off.
Yeah.
That was your watch?
Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of worried because I got the camera not plugged in, so I was like, what the fuck was that noise?
That was my watch telling me it's time to stand.
Oh, very bossy watch.
We are running long, so let's start wrapping it up. Like I said, takeaways. So, any last words on the beta? Moving into finally getting to pick this up on the 28th,
26, 20,
something like that.
It's a couple days before my birthday.
Yeah, January.
So if everybody
26th or 28th, whatever.
Everybody wants to buy me a copy individually.
You just gonna collect them?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll give them out. I'll be fucking.
There you go. Give out your streams.
Monster Hunter, fucking Santa, in January.
So takeaways. It was very, I think, successful beta. The servers handled, the over 100,000 people who were definitely playing it. They did not lag. They did not drop.
Yeah.
Connecting to people was good. Gripe. The code system can go to hell.
Get rid of it.
Though I do like that you can push a button to stay in party. That is nice. The code system's garbage.
Yeah, just
get rid of that.
Let me invite people.
I went into this game excited to play it. I left even more excited to pick it up. I think a lot of people agree with that sentiment as well, because going on Twitter and seeing people who have never played Monster Hunter before, talking about their experience of trying this beta and saying how awesome it was. That's really good news, especially and I hate to be like, even remotely negative, but like Capcom's been kind of in this weird place for a while. They need this. So very cool.
Definitely. I mean, like all the companies that we're always bitching about, they start coming back around, they put out one good thing, they start noticing, hey, people are happy with this. They're not bitching at us for making this game. That's weird.
Yeah, between this and them announcing Mega Man 11, I mean.
Which is fucking crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Because I never thought they'd make a Mega Man ever again. No, it was cool. The reception's been really good. I got people on my Facebook talking about the beta. They called it the demo. They're new, but that's great. Let's grow that community. I mean, Monster Hunter's always been really popular within the Monster Hunter community. People love it. But anyone outside of it, it's kind of, they're like monster. The name's Monster Hunter. You hunt monsters. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. It's exactly what you do.
All day, every day.
And it's fucking awesome.
Non-stop.
But I know people who have kind of had trouble with the idea of progression in the sense that you have to get stuff to craft stuff. That's how you progress through the game. But this game, this one's a lot, more streamlined. But yeah, my takeaway, this game is exactly what I wanted. What I was hoping for. It's better than I hoped for. I quit playing the beta early just because I'm so excited to play this game and start actually progressing through it. I can't wait to play with you guys. It was a good cooperative experience. It's designed where we have to work together, which is awesome. It's not just like, okay, everybody shoot the thing until it dies. It's like everybody's doing their thing. And yeah, I think this game's going to do really well. I think they've nailed it. I think there's interest, like I said before, with people who weren't into this before. I think word of mouth is going to be big for this game. I think this is probably going to be the best sales for a Monster Hunter game. I'm hoping.
I think so as well.
Just because, they just nailed it. It's literally the formula we all love in a more accessible package, I think, without getting rid of the challenge.
Yeah, well, just like Final Fantasy 15, they're making a game, for both old and new. So.
Yep.
What's your takeaway? It's awesome.
If you see me opening our initial release night coming down the road, get out of my way.
Look for small shiny things or big shiny things. If he's got a bagpipe, fucking run.
If you hear the distance.
Yeah, if you see that, it's not a celebratory thing. He's not fucking coming to hang out there, everybody.
He's buffing.
He's bringing his weapon and he's buffing himself for the battle in front of him.
Just get out of the way.
It's the horns of hell coming. Yeah, unless anybody else has anything to say.
No.
Let us know in the comments. Did you play the beta? Did you love the beta? You probably did. Did you not get to play the beta, but you got to watch some streams? I know we got people on the channel who watched our streams. Thanks for coming for that, and telling me how to play the game. That was helpful because I'd be like, I wonder how this, and they're like, you do this. I'm like, okay, thank you. Really helpful. But yeah, let us know your opinions on Monster Hunter. Are you gonna pick it up? I'm sure you're gonna. But yeah, tell me everything that's on your fucking mind about this. But I think that's going to do it for this tasty bit. I think we're doing a tasty bit, so we're going to keep it short. And a quick reminder, Chris is leaving physically the studio channel, but not the channel. He will be on streams with us. We're keeping him around because we like the guy. But yeah, that's happening. And yeah. As always, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And until the next episode, which will be Friday, when I say we're going to talk about Monster Hunter, we did it today. So come back and watch this again. But until the next episode Friday, have a good week, guys, and take it easy. Whoa.